The Fawaaz Basadien transfer saga might just be coming to an end this June. And the reason that Kaizer Chiefs might finally be getting their man is very interesting actually. Also going to talk about Ashley Dupree's new contract. We're going to talk about Claude Lilepo and his situation with his national team. And we're going to talk about some other things like what Farouk Khan has said about Nasruddin Nabi. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pilo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. Let me start with an announcement. So I've realized that a lot of people are not interested on the transfer news videos, not transfer news videos rather, but are not interested in the tactical analysis videos on this channel. So what I've done, since there are people who are interested in that kind of content, there is the Cardback with Umpilo, a channel that you can subscribe to. I'm going to pin it up here. So there I'll be posting Chiefs videos where I'm analyzing games, Pirates videos, Sundowns videos. So go subscribe to the channel. This one, I will just be making the content that is that direction. And I'm thinking about moving the match previews to the channel as well, because here I post it gets no views, so then it's pointless. I might as well post it on the other channel. But anyways, let's talk about Fawaaz Basadien, because apparently the main reason why he has not been getting signed by Kaizer Chiefs is because Swallows, when they sold him to Stellenbosch, they put a sell-on clause of 30%. So for example, right now the price tag on Fawaaz Basadien is something like 12 million, and 30% of that will be 3.6 million. So Stellenbosch were not going to be happy giving away that kind of money. But now Swallows, who sold Fawaaz Basadien to Stellenbosch, are now defunct. They are no longer a club that exists. As such, Stellenbosch can now keep the whole 100,000, the whole 12 million if it's sold for 12 million. They can keep the whole 15 million if it's sold for 15 million. So that will make the negotiations kind of slightly easier. It's the same thing that was happening with the other guy, Odlaleli Azam, right now. The midfielder, I just forgot his name right now. Fawaaz Basadien, not Fawaaz Basadien. I just forgot him. My comments, but basically it was the same thing. Uguti, I think his team Yanga had a sell-on clause of like 70%. So if you were sold for 40 million, they were going to get the 27 million. That's why the price was inflated in the first place, so that Azam could also benefit. Which brings us to the next player, and that is Aukabelong Khosi, right? I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So I will be honest with you, I have never seen the kid play, but he's a left back and he's now been promoted to the senior team of Kaizer Chiefs. Now, Unabi did say that the priority for Chiefs come June 2025 will be signing a specialized left back. There is not someone like Utitlok, or who was a makeshift left back, or someone like Frosler who can play as a left back but is not a left back, or even like Umashian, who's more of a left wing back than a left back, but to sign a proper left back. And with Fawaaz Basadien and his deal finally happening potentially, you see that the Chiefs are solving that situation. But someone will say, but then why are they promoting the kid? Because Udove is also injury prone, but on top of that, Udove would be happy to be a squad player because Udove can also play as a left center back. So there you can also have depth with Basadien starting, Udove being like the second in line, and then Ukabelo being the third option out there because he's 19. And we've talked about why we shouldn't just throw these boys at the end of, or at the deep end, because then the pressure becomes too much. So it would be interesting to see whether or not he's going to be joining the team now, or he's just going to wait until the season ends, because currently the young boys in the DDC are actually trying to win the title. They've played 18 games and they are 2 points behind Stellenbosch with 2 games in hand. We know that 2 games in hand don't really mean much because they don't mean you have the points, but they are likely going to win that thing. So I hope that they continue with the form that they are playing in, which then is very important because Ukabelo is also in the same agency as Mfundo Vilakazi, Mdusha Balala, Samgelo Zwane, Jablo Ngcobo, and Khosi Ngcobo. Jablo Plum and Khosi Ngcobo. And if you look at all these players, they're basically all the guys who are coming from the same, who are coming from the development of Kaizer Chiefs. So That is something that I find very interesting. But another thing, just to add on top of that, speaking of Unjabulo Blom, what we've seen, some people decided to defend Unjabulo Blom on after that game, and I didn't do post match analysis, but Uplom has not been good, right? He's even been better as a right back than a central midfielder. I want to see him play alongside Ucele, and I know some people said Blom was bad midweek because of Mart. Mart was not good midweek, and I even said I didn't find him particularly impressive against Sundowns. But to blame Mart for Blom's performance, because Ucele still performs with Mart alongside him. So singam blame Mart for his individual performances. Uyacasha, yes. He's not that good at progressing the ball, yes. But he does not control how Blom plays. Ublom yena mayengaveli for ibhola senzocasha nobabili phela eswini. That's why we're not doing anything in the first half through the middle. So asinga scapegoat to Mart for everyone. Ublom, if we're being honest, he's just not been good, and we need to just accept that. And whatever that's happening to him, I hope it gets solved, because I know of players who fall out of love with football because of certain situations that happen. Look at Abo Anthony at Manchester United. He looked like he didn't know anything about football, and then now he's gone to Real Betis, and now he's performing all of a sudden. That just tells you that the environment that the player is in could affect how they are playing, or even not the environment, the other psychological factors that could be affecting the player. Maybe seeing that the team is not performing. Maybe the fact that he got into a brawl or whatever, a beef with his previous employers. Maybe because he came back to Chiefs because it was his only option. Because if you think about it, he had fallen out of favor in his previous team, and that whole thing affected him. Because imagine this, you are working a medium paying job. I'm not saying Chiefs are a medium paying job, but if you put the PSL and MLS on the same side, and you ask any player in South Africa, would you rather play in America and earn 5 times what you are getting and have a chance of going to play in Europe? I would choose MLS. I'm not gonna lie to you. And then on top of that, after you make it and now you come back, because we don't even know what's going on in his personal life and all of those things. So I would say that Uplom, something is wrong, and I don't think that a player can just be bad. I see people saying he's finished. I refuse to say Blom is finished. He's not finished, but there's something wrong with it, and Abona Binabo, they must help him get through that. That is why it's very important for us as fans. We can criticize players, but if we are bashing them to a point of we're dehumanizing them, then when they see these things on social media, they continue being worse and worse, and they never say, like, see how many people were making fun of Pep Guardiola or Manchester City is finished, this and that, only to find that the man is going through divorce. You understand me? So I think that we were allowed to criticize players, because some of us spend a lot of money and we end up being broke because of attending Chiefs matches. But remember, these are human beings as well. So you are not just allowed to say whatever you want, because now if I came to your job and started insulting you for being incompetent or not doing your job fine at times, then you won't like it either now, would you? No, you wouldn't. Now, while we're here, before we talk about Glody Lilepo, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Kaizer Chiefs news. Let's now talk about the next story, which is Glody Lilepo. Apparently, the reason why he's not been called up to his national team is because he had some disciplinary issues in the last national team. So I hope that those disciplinary issues end there, because we see him so far right now. It doesn't seem like we are bad. I hope that it doesn't get used to South Africa and starts having disciplinary issues. I hope that, because honestly, he's such a good talent. Honestly, he's made so much difference to Chiefs, scoring goals, 3 goals and an assist, I think, at this point. So, and he could have been much more if Abomodi were clinical. It's not even... Oh yeah, he scored that other goal where he was crossed by Omodi. So I hope that fingers crossed that the disciplinary issues were just one-time thing, and that he can sort it out and fight his way back to play for his national team, because we need that experience. We need people who are playing in international tournaments, so that when we go there, might be next year, might be that other year, we are ready to play, and we have players who have experience in playing there. And about Uranga, coach says that he must expect criticism because, I mean, you're playing for Kaizer Chiefs. And if you're playing for Kaizer Chiefs, you are going to be criticized. As much as we said that, as I can talk to you guys because you are sensible human beings and you understand that these are people, there's some people who just behave like animals. No matter how much you tell them, what Uranga umuntu unama feelings. Hayi awusiyeke ngoranga, God esidlisa, but nina futhi nama favorites. Some people vele sonke sinama favorites. Abantu bazothi ayi uModi uyazama akugeja amagola awu4, uDupree angena akugeja amagola awu7 akore lot, but people will only remember the goal that he scores. You understand me? So I think that on the side of a coach is right. From the player's side, he must expect criticism, but from us, we must also be very nice to people. And he also says that with Pule Modi, they are also working with him in trying to make sure that he improves his finishing because we know that kid, I just said that kid, we know that Modi needs to fix his finishing because if he doesn't, we're going to continue going, and no one likes to do that. So I'm glad that the coach addressed that they are trying to fix his finishing, so I hope he does it. And then Farouk Khan, with all due respect, I always disagree with these people when they start talking about, Nabi. This is what Khan said, by the way. He says that Mr. Nazruddin Nabi needs to get a local coach so that he can teach them, can instill the identity of Kaizer Chiefs, of playing the ball and all of that stuff. And I look at Chiefs and I go, have they not been doing that this season more than what they did when they had Atazwane? Because also the other factor to this is the fact that the other factor is the personnel that Zwane had as well. So right now, Gui Chiefs, the example that Farouk Khan made was the fact that, for example, if Inasu receives the ball, he wants to kick it long. But once again, we're scapegoating him because he's a foreigner. You have Uvuma. Uvuma, I always make an example with him. Remember that game we're playing against SuperSport United? Was it SuperSport United? I think it was. There was a time when Matlo was telling Uvuma to pass the ball to Miguel was available. What did Vuma do? He kicked the ball long. Do you think the coach is really teaching them that, while we've seen Chiefs try to play the ball out from the back more times than they did under Johnson, who's South African, more times they did under Ntsegi, who's South African, more times than they did under Zwane, who's South African? So are we going to continue just saying, we need South African coaches? Because even coaches like Dan Malisela did talk about things like, South African coaches needed and all of those things. And I'm a South African coaches, and many, and just let the coach do what it does. If you're going to blame Nabi, you can blame him on other situations, like the fact that his reading of the game sometimes is not that great. I can agree with you on that. But if you're going to question the ability of getting the team to play, because the team sometimes play, look at Tele, what it does. And I would say maybe like 50-50 now, we play, because no team always plays from the back. I mean, I watch Sundowns. Sundowns ngiyayibukela, guys. Ngiyayibukela ne-Pirates. I watch Pirates. Ibhola kuno China, kuno CBC, kuno Sesan. Like, you will see more videos when I post on the cutback. And then the ball is played diagonal because Hoto is making that run. No one talks about those passes. Sundowns, the ball is between Lucas Suarez and let's say he's playing with that kid. Wow, I just forgot. Ukos, so they play the ball between them, and then all of a sudden, Lucas Suarez plays the long ball to Reyners. No one talks about that. But Magu Chiefs, the long ball is like, Nabi likes playing diagonals. Nebugi Sundowns. Even the way they were scoring against us, Utiwan found that pass, that long pass. It wasn't, we play the ball into the middle, then wide, then we try to... No. Teams are going direct now because Amayama teams are now disciplined enough to close passes into the middle. So this whole narrative that, Nabi, team yake kahleli bola, I don't feel it, and I'm not going to subscribe to it. But that's where I'm at. But what do you guys think? Do you think that the Chiefs will finally get to Basadien? If we don't, do you think Udove is good enough to continue playing in that position? And I did say that Dupree extended his contract. No, I didn't. But he did extend his contract by 2 years. So his contract now ends in June 2027. So that's interesting because on one hand, you are securing a player, but on the other hand, you are making sure if the other teams come knocking, you can now price him further up. So that's interesting. So do let me know what you think about all of these things down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals and Pelumoy.